how do you calculate the replacement asset value? Obviously, there are a lot of different ways. What's the most common? What method do you generally recommend to other companies?
Okay. Now, how do I find out what's my replacement value? Because if something happens, that equipment burned down or something, and I have to replace it, how much that's going to cost me? That's what I want to find out. Now, so I need to do is go in the industry, find out how much that equipment is costing. Now, there we need to put a process together. We identify these equipment, and it was kind of a all system manager who was responsible. They will go back. They put on in a calendar that every 5 years that asset they're going to find out how much is going to what is the current cost is to get that from. So they'll go to vendor, find out, hey, give me the cost. That $1 million, which was 5 years, now maybe $1.3 million or something. Okay. Now, also we said in that replacement cost should be how much is going to cost you to replace the old equipment out. If it
Mhm.
got burned down or something, you have to remove it. Somebody that's going to cost money. Then we
Yeah.
had to put this $1,003 or whatever cost is put that equipment down. That's going to cost something. So all this cost has to be that's a replacement value.
Yeah.
Okay. So we ask our system manager on that put in your system that every 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, you're going to come back and get this cost. And for next 3 years, you're going to use inflation factor. So if today I got some cost, let's have $2 million, next year is going to be 2 point whatever my inflation rate is, 2% or 3%, 5%. And I'm going to do that for next 2, 3, 4 years till I go back and correct that cost to the actual cost. Okay. This way I'm in a ballpark figure how much is replacement value is.
So basically what I heard from you is that you might start with the book value, the depreciated value, but then you throw in a factor around inflation, and also you add in all the costs to
No, book value is there, but that's not correct value. I have to
okay.
go to the market, find out how much that asset is going to cost me today. And suppose it cost me $2 million. That's my today 2020, 2022, 2021. 2022, I'm going to add an inflation factor for 21. It'll be times 1.2% or 3%, 5%, something like that, whatever the standard is. Then 23 will be something. 20 in 24 or 25, I'll go back to market, find out what's the real cost is, and then do the calculation, put that number again. I try to adjust every year so that I'm in a ballpark, and then depending upon how many assets I got, I may do that real going to the market, finding out how much is, every 3 to 5 years, something like that.
And this is actually such a good question coming from Vinod, because I think a lot of people, I would say the easiest way of doing it is kind of using the book value. And to your point, Ramesh, I think what happens when you use the book value is you're drastically underestimating
That's right.
how much it actually costs to replace that equipment. There's no way that you can just purchase a 5-year-old $1 million asset.
I'll give you a good example. We were doing a repair we had a small lake. We had a dam. It was built back in 50s, and its book value was showing $250,000. To repair one dam door, it costed $500,000. So you cannot take that book value. I mean, just to repair one door on the dam cost $500,000. The whole dam cost back in 50s was maybe several $1 million. By 50, 60 years later, the book value was only $250,000.